Om. In this session, we will explore practical tools to help with depression. Yoga techniques which help us to counterbalance the intensity of depressive episodes. Today, we're going to look more into hands-on practical yoga techniques that you can cultivate during more smooth times, or even when you're feeling high in a manic period. And then they will be useful for you also when things are getting more tough and some sadness, heaviness, or even a depressive episode is arising. So the key is to cultivate good habits, to get used to these beneficial techniques already in the good times. And then they're more easily accessible when it gets tough. And maybe they might even help that it gets tough less frequently, or that we not so easily get drawn and sucked down into the shadow, into the darkness of depression. So let's take actually first a look at the root chakra, Muladhara chakra. It is common in some systems to install the earth element with the root chakra. So an association between this grounding, stable attribute of the earth element is frequently created with the root chakra. Muladhara, root support, is the literal translation for this chakra, located in the perineum pelvic floor area. And what it is related to in our context here is that we can have a lack of grounding. We can be not really connected to a stable foundation, and therefore we can have certain fear, existential concerns about our survival. Is it really sustainable? Will I have enough food, shelter, etc.? And out of a lack of that can arise some sadness, frustration, heaviness out of a certain fear-based attitude of defensiveness, lacking this root support on a hands-on, tangible survival level. So what can help with that is to charge the root chakra. How do we activate Muladhara chakra? Frequently in the forward bends. There is a strong curvature in the pelvic area in a forward fold, and therefore there's a triggering, a charging of Muladhara chakra in the pelvic area, perineum, pelvic floor. So forward folds, both standing forward folds and seated forward folds, activate the root chakra. We can build our vitality, charge our battery, and be more vital, and in a way get out of this laziness, heaviness, this stagnation of heavy energy in the root chakra. We mobilize that by flushing the energy through the root chakra. We rise up the energies, we sublimate it up along the spine towards the higher energy centers. So this process can be supported, for example, by and via inversions, immersing yourself into inversions, putting the body upside down. The inverted posture is very famous in the yoga asana style of hatha yoga, where we have various ways of putting the body into this position where the head, throat are below the navel. So it starts with soft inversions. Even things like standing forward bend already has the head below, but stronger are even where we, in the opposite way, bring the heads, bring the legs above the head. So that would be in a basic simple form, the wind release pose, Pavana Muktasana, lying on your back and bringing the knees towards the chest. So shoulder stand, or even a half variation of such a candle pose, or even legs up the wall, a simple basic inversion, which most people can do, can be so beneficial. Additionally, if it is in your practice, you could go further towards the headstand, Shirshasana, the king of poses, and other arm balances, handstands, etc., where we put the body upside down and charge the higher chakras, get that stagnant energy out of the watery, confused Svadhisthana chakra. Helps us not only to burn calories, but also to burn stagnant energies. The direction of the fire is to come upward. So we bring that heavy, stagnant, depressed, confused energy from Svadhisthana and even below Muladhara chakra. We bring it upward with the intensity of the fire element. The flames are flaring up and they uplift, they elevate the energy, they help us in this process of sublimation, of rising the energies from the lower to the higher chakras, removing the stagnation and pulling ourselves on our own neck out of the depression. So these some hands-on pragmatic tools, actual techniques which you can apply, as mentioned, in these times when you feel good, and you develop them as a beneficial habit, and then you apply them as you feel some depression arriving. You practice those techniques, and this mechanical practice can support your energetic charges and indirectly also influence your psychological and emotional well-being. Don't underestimate how much this magic of yoga works in the background.